One thing the liberated consciousness diagram does extremely well is provide a revolutionary map to understanding the organization and navigational activity of unconscious memories. For example, when the body is thirsty, that begins as a clue and a cue from navigation. But in order for the mind to consciously perceive a message of I need a drink of water or I am thirsty, that regulational activity has to go through subconscious navigation. And based on how unconscious memories are interpreting the cues and clues from the body's unconscious activity, only then does the conscious mind receive an explicit message of navigation. And so, for example, this particular cue and clue might come from the second subconscious region about provision, providing a drink of water for the body. And that would come in correlation with the masculine to feminine activity between the first and the second subconscious region through implicit thought forms and implicit self-sense and energetic activity of implicit flows. And so in the second subconscious region, close with the first as it bridges realms between these concepts, there's so many different pieces that go into understanding the organization of trillions of body-mind pathways through the liberated consciousness diagram. Then there's a little piece of information in unconscious memories about providing a drink of water to quench the thirst of the body. But if the attachment needs have not been fulfilled in that second subconscious region, then that data might not be organized properly. And so when the body thinks it needs a drink of water, that regulation activity then goes through the navigation activity as unconscious brain body stuff then is translated and interpreted through unconscious memories organized in relation with attachment well-being. Then the clue or cue sent to the conscious mind might be, I'm really hungry, or I'm really anxious. You might not actually know that you need a drink of water. Okay, and of course, this is one of hundreds and thousands and millions of possible examples. But we can explore any personal experience, any type of thought form, any type of sensation, any type of action pattern, any type of emotion, any type of perception, any type of behavior, any type of instinctive response, any type of personal situation and experience as the body-mind is providing navigation and regulation, and we can understand it in a radically revolutionary way through the liberated consciousness diagram and its infinite treasure mapping potentials and treasure trove Tête-à-Têtes by discussing and exploring these concepts in relation with this diagram. And it's so much fun because this diagram just exists through the miraculous implicit revelations case study. This diagram doesn't exist anywhere else on the planet. And so it's amazing to explore these concepts that do exist everywhere on the planet. Everyone is affected by neuroscience, psychology, and spirituality. Everyone is affected by the activity of their unconscious memories. Everyone is experiencing different types of feelings and movement patterns or emotions and action patterns and types of choices and decisions. Everyone is experiencing navigation and regulation in their body-mind. Everyone is encountering how the well-being of specific attachment needs is affecting their personal experience. Everyone is encountering these concepts from the inside out, whether they know about it or not. And there's a million different ways to explore these topics. There's so much magical information out there. We can explore attachment development and neurodevelopment and spiritual awakening. And we can explore so many different realms of insight. But the liberated consciousness diagram is a brand new way to explore all of this. And its revolutionary creation is mind-blowing, even to myself, because in order to create this treasure map, this brain and body was actually experiencing all of this activity completely independently, which is why there was such an opportunity to explore it and study it and map it with precision. And it's just absolutely incredible. And it's amazing because the more that I explore it, the more astounded I am at the accuracy of it. Because I was not creating conscious explicit memories when the liberated consciousness diagram was being created. There wasn't explicit lucidity. And then there was this big healing time, and then I came back to it and was like, wow, this is like so accurate. And in every moment of every day, I can refer to it and it makes sense of what I'm experiencing, and it gives me power to move through my experiences, and it gives validation for all of these parts of me, and it affirms what's happening in my brain body wiring, and it helps me have more influence over that wiring, and it helps me redirect my energy to bring more balance into like all parts of my being. And like, it's just really incredible, which is why I'm so passionate about it and excited to share it, because it is so accurate and so precise, but it's so simple and succinct. And it's fun and it's colorful, but it explains trillions of energetic pathways in the most complex regions of brain-body wiring. So it's just amazing. And so this is just one little example about how the liberated consciousness diagram can really help us map and understand the organization and activity and navigational well-being of unconscious memories. Like you can't go into your unconscious memories and be like, yeah, like I see my unconscious memories. Like you can't do that. You can't go into your unconscious memories and perceive them. You can't go in there and obviously understand them. And so this is an opportunity to do that. It's an opportunity to bring the light of illuminating awareness into these regions of the body mind that you cannot otherwise access. You can't go in and be like, oh, how are these trillions of energetic pathways doing in my unconscious memories? Oh, how are these unconscious navigational systems doing? Like, you can't do that. You can't go in there and say, oh, how are my attachment systems from age 2? Like, you can't do that. But the liberated consciousness diagram and its treasure mapping potentials and treasure trove Tête-à-Têtes potentials allow us to do exactly that. Allow us to go in and understand these hidden inner realities and expand the power that we have to interpret experiences and see the underlying meaning of them. Because if there's something happening in personal realities, a chronic feeling or a chronic thought or a chronic something that's happening, or a one-time experience that doesn't make sense. We're in this situation and there was this automatic response and you're like, oh my God, where did that come from inside of me? Like, I need to understand this and explore it because there's clearly something inside of me that I didn't know about, and I want to dive into this now that I'm aware of it. Okay, so whether it's a chronic thing, something that's been happening for a while, whether that's a few weeks, a months, or decades, whether that's a one-time experience where you're like sailing smoothly through life and then something happens and you have this automatic reaction and you're like, oh my God, where did this come from? I need to understand and explore this deeper. The liberated consciousness diagram can help us explore the organization and activity of unconscious memories in relation with the well-being of attachment systems. And from that, we can understand the harmony and balance of masculine and feminine energy. We can understand the harmony and balance between the roots and the supporters of self-sense and personal experience. We can understand the harmony and balance between implicit and explicit subconscious energies. We can understand the harmony and balance between the content of neural wiring throughout the brain and the brain hemispheres and the brain lobes and the brain regions and its connectivity with the rest of the body, including memory centers called ganglia. We can explore the balance between left and right brain hemispheres. We can explore mind-body connection. We can explore the well-being of consciousness and the well-being of the brain and body and their relationship with each other, because the essence of self is always distinct from and connected with the human experience. And we can explore so many different things and understand the underlying causality of any type of thought or feeling or action pattern or behavior or response. And again, whether that's one-time experience or something that's been chronic. And we can have power to reconstruct this brain-body wiring in a simple, fun, and easy way. We can have power to be there for these parts of ourselves. We can have power to understand and explore these aspects of the human experience in a revolutionary way. And to understand how trillions of energetic pathways, including unconscious memories, are existing and organized and affecting all of these aspects of life. and the way we extend energy within our everyday realities, and the way we preserve energy and find moments of stillness and peace and rest or withdrawal, the way that we perceive energy and witness and make conclusions and draw assumptions or formulate stories, the way that we receive energy and the way that we notice nonverbal communication and eye contact. And like, there's so many different realms of the human experience that we can explore from the inside out. And the liberated consciousness diagram, including with potentials of overlapping with the expanded spirit diagram, give us so much opportunity to do that. So if any of these concepts interest you or intrigue you at all, I invite you to explore my offerings. I have over 12 different offerings through one-on-one sessions. I love connecting with you beloved soul friends. I have so much magic that I've gained through my implicit revelations case study, and I am so passionate to share it because I see the power of it. I see the amazingness of it. For example, with the liberated consciousness diagram, you can actually look at other people and notice what they might say or how they might be feeling, or an action pattern they might have, and you can understand it. And to be able to have that awareness and that just expanded perception, and to understand how their trillions of energetic pathways are organized in relation with attachment well-being and unconsciously are automatically navigating their life, you can have more space in these relationships. There's so much potential, and to have that power of expanded awareness, to have that infinite possibility of interpreting your own experience in a revolutionary way, to have so much power to creatively and colorfully understand these complexities in succinct and simple ways, and then to have power to shapeshift that, because not only can we understand it, but when we understand its foundation, it's easier to change it. It's easier to remold it into something new. It's easier to shift it into something that you want to experience. And so if there is a chronic experience or a one-time experience, and you're like, I want to understand what's happening, and I want to know how to shapeshift it so that it can be a more positive form of navigation and regulation in my body mind, so I can be there with and for more parts of me, then that pathway is easy and simple and fun and enjoyable through these concepts and their applications. And so through one-on-one sessions, I offer over 12 distinct offerings. Each of them has their own little piece of medicine that I've created through the implicit revelations case study and its shoot-offs, including the liberated consciousness and expanded spirit diagram, from social self-engagement practices and inward hypnotic imagination experiences of consciousness, to treasure mapping the mysteries and hidden treasures of body-mind miracles and SoulSelf aspects. There's so many different offerings. And then I also have Loving Liberation Launchpads, over a dozen course content creations. They're self-guided courses through the most loving, creative, tender expressions, videos and text alike, to guide your journey and to use all of this magic that I've cultivated in my own transformative journey so that you can just easily step into that healing, restoration, inner power reclamation, loving liberation that you desire and deserve to experience, rewriting unconscious memories so that they can more effectively support you and your navigation and regulation, uniting with infinite parts of yourself, and nourishing the well-being of internal attachment systems at BodyMind Foundations to liberate the love of the truth that you are. And there's so many different options. They are all so fun and amazing, and every single one of them, I kid you not, every single one of them is a core foundation in my own body mind now, because I use these courses to reconstruct my own body mind. And so now the implicit unconscious memories and the navigation and regulation that they create is all founded in these course creations. Like, and when I have a thought or a feeling or an action pattern, I'm like, oh yeah, that's because of my work with the Restoring Consciousness Toolkit. Oh yeah, that's because of my work with the Healing into Happiness Playbook. Oh yeah, that's because of all my work with Mirror Play with Mirror Power Creative Connections. And so I've literally sculpted my own body-mind foundation from the ground up when there wasn't a foundation to even work from. And I love my BodyMind foundation now because it feels good. It feels good. My BodyMind foundation feels good to be in. And so these pathways are fun and easy and enjoyable and blissful, and the benefits and rewards are absolutely life-changing. And I'm so excited to share. So if any of these concepts, topics, or ideas interest or intrigue you, even the slightest, I do invite you to explore it. Even if you don't find one that is a perfect fit, maybe you might be inspired along the way just by exploring the sharing of its idea and its offering. Maybe you'll read something and see something. It's like, oh wow, I never thought of it that way, or oh wow, that's a good idea. I'm going to go look into that myself. So even if you don't end up choosing one of my offerings, I still invite you to explore it, just because reading through the description of the offering could be enough to spark your journey in a new way, and maybe just bring the light of awareness to an aspect of the journey that you hadn't looked at before, or you want to dive deeper into. And so lots of different one-on-one sacred soul session offerings, over 12 distinct offerings, each with their own unique piece of medicine and specified intention, and over a dozen different loving liberation launch pads or content course creations. And if you ever have any questions to clarify before scheduling a session or ordering one, you can always contact me directly through my email address. And if any of the links aren't working or something, again, you can contact me through my email address, and that's all shared in the offerings themselves. If you go to the one-on-one Sacred Soul Sessions, it provides all of that information there, and it's always being updated too. So if there's any changes, it'll be updated very promptly in the Sacred Soul Session offerings. And it's just an amazing time. It's just an amazing journey to make really fun, colorful treasure maps. It's just a few lines and a few hearts, and then you suddenly understand your human experience in the most revolutionary way. And to bring these complex neuroscientific topics and attachment development and neuroscience and neurodevelopment and psychology and all of this stuff in, spirituality, all of this stuff in just a brand new way that is just exclusively channeled through me. And I am so grateful and so honored to serve as a guide and a teacher in this journey with this very specific medicine and magic. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for exploring the magic. And do check out the links in the video description below. There's so much possibility through it, and I would be absolutely honored to connect with you. Have a beautiful and blessed day, soul friends.